I bid you all good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Okay, guys, we got a really good, important article here for housing, and this is how big this is. Okay, Canadian real estate grows almost 5 times GDP. Economy hits record high dependency. So we've been talking about this on the show on the channel for many, many years. We've been talking how real estate has been the underlying major mover in the housing market, whether it's in Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, and Canada, and Western United States. Western United States is totally green and it doesn't produce as much as it used to. So it is highly dependent on housing, real estate, overpriced, overbubbled housing. And if housing goes down, and this is why governments have been keeping housing propped for the longest time, because they need to keep it propped. Because if housing goes down, the GDP and everything they work for to build this overly inflated Ponzi scheme bubble comes down, right? So here it is, guys. Canada's gross domestic product GDP is increasingly being driven by real estate, says the Stats Canada. And wow, if Stats Canada is actually saying that, that's pretty scary. Data shows that fire sector is insurance, real estate. F stands for insurance, real estate, finance, insurance, real estate, or something. Yeah, it's just the people in the whole housing sector, right? Was a huge contributor to GDP growth in Q4. In 2019. In fact, the industry now represents a new record for its size of GDP, beating out the 2016 record. Yeah, it's finance, real estate, and insurance, now the highest level of GDP in Canada in years. So you're making 3% off a house sale. Real estate agent makes bang buck because the average $230,000 house now is selling for $1.2 million, and interest rates are historically low. And guess what happens? People buy into this crap, and then they're on the hook for $1.2 million, even though wages haven't moved realistically in the last 30, 40 years. First, a quick dive through this morning's GDP numbers. GDP reached $1.98 trillion in Q4 at the annual rates, up 0.13% from the previous quarter compared to the same quarter last year. This is 1.61% higher. That's a weaker 2019 than the government was forecasting in 2018. But growth is still growth. This growth is starting to lean on real estate once again. Canada's FIRE, so that's finance, insurance, real estate, as a percentage of GDP. So here it is. It's growing and becoming more and more house dependent. It's becoming more and more real estate and insurance dependent. That's all service crap. And houses we need to live in. So they're taking advantage of that by lowering interest rates and propping up these bubbles. And, well, this is a great win-win for them because people have to live in homes. It's almost like our homes are now federalized. Everything's got some sort of connection to some sort of governance. Even our own homes. Oh, Mike, that's impossible. Well, you pay property tax. Even on a home you own. The fire industry has beat the record for the portion of the economy it is set a few years ago. The industry grew $386.73 billion in Q4, up 2.89% from the year before. This is now 19.53%, the size of GDP, the highest rate in the last few decades. Fire finally passed the Q2 2016 record percentage. Fire sectors grew over 5 times faster than GDP. Guys, remember, this is finance, insurance, and real estate. So basically, if you think about it, you don't need a degree or a college degree to work at in a finance or insurance or real estate. So what does that tell you? That people that got degrees in social science and whatever wasted their time. Breaking down the numbers, finance and insurance, the FI in fire made big gains. The sector represented 132.86 billion in Q4, up 0.85% from the previous quarter. Compared to last year, this is a 2.57% increase. Quarterly growth is nearly 6 times faster than the growth seen in GDP. Real estate, rental, and leasing, aka the in fire, showed big growth. The sector represented 253.87 billion in Q4, up 0.63% from the previous quarter compared to last year. This is up 3.06% from the same quarter. The quarterly rate of growth was over 5 times larger than the general GDP at year end. This is so dangerous when we're playing games like this because they keep thinking this housing market's going to keep going up. So what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing Canada bring in more and more people, even though we're on the brink of a pandemic. They're still going to bring in more people to keep this thing going. They don't care about the people here. The people here that built this infrastructure, you could see the door. It's right there. You could get out. You know what I'm saying? Fire sectors represented a new record high as a percentage GDP growth. It was also growing significantly faster than the general economy at the end of the year. This indicates the economy is once again leaning on fire. After taking just a brief break, since this is largely a credit-driven segment, it'll be interesting to see what lengths the government will go to increase household debt. Canadians are already some of the most indebted in the world. Yet Canadians and Australians are actually a little bit more indebted than Canadians, and then New Zealanders, and then UKers, and then last but not least, the United States. But New Zealand and Australia are pretty close together, but UK isn't, like, people are in debt. People are living in high poverty levels, but a lot of them are not in huge amounts of debt. They're in debt, like for a car, a credit card, or parking tickets. They're not in debt like in Canada, where people have like 11 credit cards. In the UK, people have like 1-2 credit cards, or maybe one credit card and a student loan, or you know what I'm saying, or an outstanding debt. But it's not as bad as Australia and Canada is. Those guys need credit counseling, not more credit. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, please, if you can, look at all my channels, all yellow. Look at that, all the yellowness in my channels, guys. None of it's being monetized. So if you want to go to the channel, guys, and actually go here, join the channel, be part of the channel. Don't forget to go down here. Scroll down a little bit on the channel and set a reminder for trends in the housing market, where we talk about the massive housing stress that's happening across the Commonwealth, jobs, unemployment, and same patterns happening across every English-speaking country. And then Mike in the Night, if you want to join us for Mike in the Night next Saturday, March 7th. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thanks for watching. Big hug to everybody. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and I'll be reading your comments below. This is very big. And if it wasn't for money laundering, Canada would be in a recession. Canada would be in a recession if it wasn't for money laundering. 200 billion laundered from 2011 to 2015 across Canada. That's not something to laugh at. That's very serious, because you're introducing outside money into an economy that can't handle that amount of money. What happens? Assets go to the sky, and the locals living there become pretty much impoverished overnight, and homeowners become millionaires on paper, and everyone thinks that it's either they're at wit's end or they're millionaires on paper. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Thanks for watching.